Hi, I'm Bob. I'm a father of a family of 4. We live in a budget and I just started paying off my car loan. I am really desperate to pay off this debt, so every dollar that I'm able to save is going directly to the loan. With great thinking comes great responsibility. Show that power, subscribe, and hit the like button. One day, I was driving to work when my car broke down in the middle of the highway. What a disaster! I had to call for help to take the car to a mechanic. Not only had to pay for the car repair, but also for the services to move the car. All that added up cost me $3,000, which I didn't have at that moment because I was putting everything towards my debt. Here I thought I was being smart. After that tough morning, things didn't get any better. In fact, when I got to work, my boss called me to his office. He told me how great my work was, but because of some internal financial struggles, the company was downsizing and they were releasing me from my position. I was so frustrated. The car repair payment was nothing compared to this big awful news. With no income, how was I going to sustain my family with food, shelter, water, or electricity? I looked for some advice from a good old friend, and he made me realize a really important lesson that he then explained. It's true that you were doing a good job building your financial free journey by living on a budget, saving, and setting goals, but you missed one big block that made your tower fall: an emergency fund. The thing of it is that we cannot control the weather, so you never actually know when it's going to rain, so having a handy umbrella is always a smart decision. An emergency fund is a safety net. It will help you to not go into debt, and most importantly, it will give you a peace of mind. What happens to our consciousness is that when we realize that we don't have any money to cover up an emergency expense such as a car repair or a job loss, you start getting anxious, worried, and losing sleep. With an emergency fund, your mind already knows that the purpose of that money is to cover an emergency expense, so once you cover those costs, you have to make sure to fund it back for a future time. So how much should you be saving? Most experts suggest to have between 3 and 6 months of emergency expenses. And when I mean emergency, I mean for your 4 essentials: housing, groceries, utilities, and transportation. Entertainment and any fun money, like online shopping, is not an emergency expense to cover your fund. Always keep that in mind. To illustrate my example, let's say your monthly rent costs $1,000, groceries $400, utilities $100, and transportation $300. The total would be $1,700. So if we want to have a safety of 3 months, it would end up being $5,100. Or if we want to have a more conservative, it would end up being $10,200. The question should be, do you lean towards 3 months or 6 months? Well, that depends on your life situation. If you're a single person where you don't have dependents and a steady job, you can look forward in saving 3 months. But since you have 2 kids and a wife, and what it appears that your job was not steady enough, then for sure go for those 6 months. Unfortunately, no one is exempt from an emergency happening, so go ahead and fund that emergency bucket now. Few weeks passed and I'm back to my feet with a new job. I had to use my credit card to pay for expenses, making me go into more debt. Ugh, I hate this. But now I know the lesson. I will get my emergency fund in place as fast as possible, and also pay off my debt as fast as I can. With these 2 things and my budget, everything should be fine. So if I'm going through this organized path, why should I even have a credit card? What's the purpose of debt, and why do people go into it? Is all debt bad? That's what I was told. Hopefully, I don't have to rely on the bad one before getting the answer. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe.